Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on Primetime, 2 men are hospitalized after being attacked at the skate park. Tyler Matsinani is live from Dedido. Plus, indoor gathering limit will increase to 100 come Friday at 6 p.m. The governor announced this afternoon. And not all is clear on Guam plastic bag ban. Esther Lecanto has the story.
Hafa and good evening, everyone. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. Guahusi Isaiah again, and thanks for tuning in to your news leader. What started as a night at the skate park ended with 2 men in the hospital, leaving one with an injury so severe that it cost him his eye. Joining us live from Dedido with more details is KUAM's Tyler Matsinani. Good evening, Tyler.
Isaiah, just in the past few days, we've covered a lot of crime happening on our island. We've also seen several public safety hearings held in recent weeks. But here in Dedido, we first told you about it last night. It was a scary situation where 2 young men were here at the skate park when suddenly they were called out to fight and jumped by several individuals. I spoke with one of the victims' mother who said more needs to be done to keep our community safe. Ina Lee got the terrifying phone call early Wednesday morning. Her son Aaron and his friend Jonathan were assaulted at the Dedido skate park. The injuries so severe they were taken to GRMC.
And suddenly these 2 drunk boys come over and you want to fight. And then my son goes, just leave us alone. We're just talking to my friends. And my son was really in pain of his eye.
According to Lee, her son received 9 stitches, but it was Jonathan who took the brunt of the blows as one of the assailants grabbed a glass bottle and lodged it into his eye.
Lost his eye. I thought he would be lost his eye too. He was all blood and blood all over the body.
She says the assault was captured on a phone from one of the suspects involved, joking and making fun of the situation. But Ina is not laughing. She's hoping our leaders will do more about preventing crime on Guam. She says it took officers more than 20 minutes to respond to the park. Melissa Savares, the mayor of the island's most populated village, says they're lucky if there are even 5 officers on patrol in the Dedido area.
They respond when they can. Unfortunately, they didn't respond right away during the incident.
According to Ina, instead, it was witnesses that immediately came to the aid of her son and Jonathan.
There was a skaters at the skate park that came over and helped. If they didn't help, my 2 boys would be dead already.
We did try to get a comment from the Guam Police Department. They confirmed that the case is being actively investigated, but we're unable to release details at this time. Reporting for KUAM News, I'm Tyler Matsinani. Back to you in studio.
From the Dedido skate park for us, Tyler Matsinani, thank you for that live report. It's the 3rd business in a matter of days that has come face to face with armed robbers. This time it was in broad daylight. A little before 12:30 p.m. this afternoon, the Guam Police Department received a robbery report from the number 1 market into money. This was a 2-man job. One guarded the door and kept watch while the other man, armed with a gun, stole $500 from the cash register. One of the suspects was described as wearing a green shirt, black jacket, and black hat. The other was reported to be wearing a black jacket. Both were seen running towards the Hemalani apartments. If you saw these men or have any information, you are asked to contact GPD immediately at 671-475-8615. 24-year-old Peter Cofinas appeared before Judge Michael Berdalio for a change of plea hearing this today. In September of 2021, investigators with the Postal Inspection Service searched a package that contained over 400 grams of methamphetamine hidden inside small balloons that were concealed in paint bottles. He pled guilty to the charges of attempted possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute. His sentencing date is set for June 2nd before Chief Judge Francis Sidinko Gatewood and will remain detained at the Department of Corrections pending sentencing. Through his legal counsel, Dennis Zerminio filed a response to a complaint filed in the district court in May of 2021, alleging he sexually molested a student at Agueda Johnson Middle School in 1981. An individual identified as BB to protect his identity alleged Zorminio, while a counselor at the middle school, molested him more than 100 times when he was a teenager. Zorminio not only denies all the allegations, he also denies that he was a counselor at the school at the time. A scheduling conference for the case will be held on March 10th. 58-year-old Jacob Nurajan appeared before Magistrate Judge Benjamin Cizon in Superior Court Thursday. Nurajan allegedly ordered an 11-year-old girl to go to his room or he would hurt her another individual. He then allegedly began touching and rubbing the victim's genital area and tried to penetrate her. He was charged with first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct, attempted first-degree criminal sexual conduct, possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, and destruction of evidence. During the hearing, he pled not guilty to the charges. As part of her strategic and gradual easing of restrictions, island residents can expect another change within 24 hours.
After consulting with our experts, our public health experts, our hospital leaders, the physician advisory group, our surgeon cell, I think we are ready to do, again, some lifting of restrictions. So what I'm going to sign an executive order that will lift social gathering restrictions, although we will still have it limited.
Effective Friday at 6 p.m., the limit of 25 people for indoor social gatherings will expand to 100. Again, this is regardless of vaccination status. Although we're not in the clear of the Omicron surge just yet, we are heading in the right direction. KUAM's Daniel Perez has the latest numbers with this week's COVID-19 trends.
The numbers say it all. The daily COVID cases over a 7-day period is now below 250, a big improvement from January and early February's count of 800 daily cases. Testing has decreased as well, with a 7-day rolling average of 1,000 tests per day and a drop in test positivity from 40 to 23%. As for the age groups, all are showing a decline. Territorial epidemiologist Dr. Ann Pobutsky.
Symptomatic cases are now averaging less than 40% of cases, and we're finally now seeing a decrease in the hospitalizations and census count for COVID cases in the hospital since mid-February. There's also decline in the ICU.
COVID deaths continue to appear occasionally, with the island averaging at least one COVID fatality per day, but even that is letting up. Despite the encouraging numbers, the island isn't out of the woods just yet. Public Health continues to monitor the COVID situation, with lead epidemiologist Dr. Annette David introducing a metric system to determine Guam's stance in the surge.
It's a two-step process, and where the step one is where we decide where we are in terms of transmission. And the cutoff here is 200. If we have 200 or more new cases per 100,000 population over the past 7 days, we are categorized as being in the high transmission category. And if it goes below 200 per 100,000 population, we then move to the low risk category.
Dr. David added once the island has determined if we're in a low or high category, we then look at the demand of health system capacity.
And here we look at new hospital admissions per 100,000 people over the past 7 days, as well as the percentage of staffed inpatient beds occupied by COVID admissions. So we no longer are going to be factoring in here the test positivity rate. So that is the major change.
And according to the new metric, Guam is still high risk in terms of transmissibility cases and health system capacity.
If you look at where Guam is, like I say, step one, we are still in the high risk category in terms of our COVID admissions and our staffed inpatient beds. One is moderate, the other one is high, but we go by the higher one. And so we are still at high risk, but trending downwards.
As per Dr. David, vaccinations and boosters continue to be our best defense against the COVID-19 virus. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
Over the CNMI, the hotly contested impeachment trial rules for Governor Rao Torres are set in stone. While Democrats offered amendments, they were voted down by 5-3, foreshadowing the likely vote of senators in the final verdict. KUAM regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia has the details.
The impeachment rules that two senators almost scrapped over are set in stone.
I only ask that we move ahead so that we can get to the next step so that everyone in the Commonwealth can finally go with the process and watch the proceedings go in an equitable and a fair manner, open to the public.
But that tone-setting comment striking a nerve, drawing harsher lines in the sand.
Other senators have amendments, but I guess no matter what I say, it's already done.
Factions within the Senate becoming sharper than from the start.
Despite the public statement that a minority member will be appointed to the Impeachment Special Committee, the 5-member Senate Impeachment Committee without a minority member's participation in this adopted impeachment rules continues to have significant control over key procedural matters throughout the hearing. In essence, the Senate as a whole is stripped of its duty as jury.
Key flashpoints lie in rules that create a special committee that could essentially dismiss the articles, an airtight burden of proof, and the inability for the House to choose its own prosecutor.
The Senate will not be conducting a fair and impartial trial, and if these rules are adopted, we might not even have a trial at all. The proposed rules is it's littered with bias and extremely apparent and obvious that the scales of justice has been intentionally and knowingly dipped to accommodate the impeached.
That strong rebuke, notwithstanding the Republican majority many believe is likely to keep the governor in office for the ultimate referendum in November. Tomas Maglotnia for KUAM News.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime. Coming up, an update on the plastic bag ban. Nestor Lacanto has that story. Stay tuned, you're watching KUAM.
Hi.
You look really nice.
You look so cute.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
This COVID pandemic has posed unprecedented challenges for our restaurant, and like many others, we rely on our tourism and hospitality industry. We've done everything we needed to do for our employees. It was our commitment to them to keep the doors open. They're the heart of what we do, and they have a heart for service. From the beginning, our customers, our team, and our community have been the top priority. We have adopted a highly infectious disease control policy and sanitation guidelines to help our team prepare and respond to COVID-19 while keeping our doors open and maintaining our level of service. Through the pandemic, we have been able to get federal assistance and program grants to help keep our doors open within the last 2 years. Our employees have been able to get PUA, which helped supplement their loss of wages, and we are very thankful for that. If you have any questions or concerns regarding federal issues, please reach out to your congressman's office.
Thank you for the unemployment assistance.
Thank you for the federal funds.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
Let us know what's up on our KUAM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the CNMI, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094.
Welcome back to your news leader. The Department of Administration is still working on the purchase of a new multi-million-dollar financial information management system. It's been more than 14 months since it was declared an emergency procurement in order to help meet federal reporting requirements. But as KUAM's Nestor Lacanto explains, they still haven't selected a vendor.
Governor Leon Guerrero certified the emergency procurement in an executive order issued on December 18, 2020. She cited the challenges and limitations DOA's 30-year-old system was having in compiling the required reports on federal CARES Act funding. Fast forward more than a year later, and Administration Director Ed Burns says they're now evaluating 6 vendor respondents.
As I speak, some members of the committee are in the room next door reviewing these proposals, and I hope that we will have an evaluation of the top 3, which is what's required by the RFP, by the end of the week.
But as far back as April of last year, senators, including Vice Speaker Tina Barnes, Frank Bloss Jr., and James Moylan, criticized the delay in procurement, asking if it was truly an emergency, why it was taking so long. Barnes even citing an OPA audit that also pointed out the reporting delays.
Just think what would have happened had it not been an emergency. It might well be dragging on much longer.
Byrne has also said that there was a back-and-forth review with the Attorney General's office. He explains that the intent was to, quote, carry out the process as fairly as possible, and that means sometimes there are barriers that you have to overcome along the way.
Especially in something as complicated as a financial management system, which has many aspects. I'm not going to say to you that it couldn't have been quicker because, like every other procurement, it seems to involve a large number of people, and that means delay. But we're moving along now, and I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to get hold of a new system, long overdue, very quickly.
But there's still no date certain when one will finally be online.
Ideally, it would be obviously better if we could have it in place, at least the basics of it, before the end of the financial year.
FY 2022 ends September 30th. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
About 8 schools have been broken into in the last 2 months, with crime rates high and more than a dozen reports made to the Guam Police Department since the start of the year. How is the Guam Department of Education addressing these issues? Here's more. Benavente Middle School, Weddingale Elementary School, Juan Guerrero Elementary School, Jose Rios Middle School, M.U. Lujan Elementary School, Fenagodzen Elementary School, Chief Brody Elementary School, and Agania Heights Elementary School were the 8 of 41 Guam Department of Education public schools broken into, items stolen, and damages to the facilities a few times since 2022 began. During its weekly media briefing Wednesday, GDOE Deputy Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction Joe Sanchez says that they're beefing up its facilities.
We actually do have a team reviewing the school request for security. Unfortunately, one of the decisions that was made, or at least one of the responses that we got, was we're not able to do the security cameras due to some issues with procurement. However, there are some plans that we have regarding hardening certain areas. For example, replacing some of the wooden doors and the types of locks that are used in the regular rooms, as well as probably the libraries, main offices, and identifying certain rooms that will be utilized for housing a lot of the additional equipment that's going to be in schools.
About $3 million in federal and local funds have been set aside for these efforts.
Another aspect to that is the potential use of the potential use of structuring the gates outside. So there is some discussion out there about making sure that all the gates continue to be functional and utilized, as well as some parts of some schools that might be including additional security gating in hallways.
According to GPD spokesperson Officer Berlin Savella, no suspects have been identified. If you know any information about the school break-in, submit a tip online to the Guam Crime Stoppers website at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. Parents of students and graduates who were enrolled into all 41 Guam Department of Education schools in the school year 2020 to 2021, you may want to hold on to your PEBT cards. After 2 months of waiting for the latest updates on the SNAP benefits for students, GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez clarified that the additional $400 of PEBT funds will be for all students enrolled last school year.
My understanding is that all students enrolled who received it during school year 2021 are also eligible for the summer benefits.
As KUAM News reported, the Department of Public Health and Social Services is now only awaiting approval from the Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutritional Services to issue out the funds, although there is no timeline for confirmation. The distribution of the benefits should be quick because the PEBT program is already set up. About $438 is expected to be uploaded to the public electronics benefits transfer cards. And we're taking a bird's eye view of the price at the pump in the Marianas. As the cost of fuel and power rise across the globe, the region is no exception. The cost per gallon on Guam, Rota, Saipan, and Tinian range from at least $5.49 up to $7.30. The cost on Tinian is $7.30, Rota $7.04, Saipan $5.57, Guam $5.49. On base, it's just $3.60. The cost on Guam and Saipan rose from roughly $4 just in January. The increase on Tinian and Rota were proportionate. At least one gas station on each island confirmed these prices that will come out of the pockets of residents across the Marianas. There is some confusion over the plastic bag ban that took effect on December 31st. During a public hearing today, a Guam EPA representative said the law is not clear about how it should be applied when it comes to restaurants. KUAM's Nestor Lacanto reports.
Guam EPA Special Projects Coordinator Sabrina Sablan was asked for an update on the plastic bag ban. She said in more than 500 retail outlet compliance inspections, just a handful of small mom-and-pop stores were still using plastic bags. Then she mentioned there was some confusion over the restaurant industry.
Based on the law, they fall under an exemption, but it doesn't stipulate what type of plastic bag they can use. If they can just use the regular single use or the biodegradables. Most everybody has pretty much switched off, but there's no definition.
But that caught the attention of Chairperson Senator Sabina Perez.
I just want to be clear because the law states that disposable carry-out plastic bags are banned, even for food establishments.
The way we interpret that is that they're allowed to use the plastic bags. It's the same thing as like the bakery products, because they're not prepackaged foods. So when you go into a restaurant, the food is really not prepackaged.
I think the intent of the law was to ban the disposable carry-out plastic bags and allow the paper bags for the eating and drinking establishments for paper only, not plastic. So we'll have to take I guess I could see that's why it's confusing. We're seeing these food establishments still distributing the plastic bags when I think the intent of the law was really to get rid of the plastic bags altogether.
The hearing today was actually for a bill by Perez that would extend the implementation of a paper bag ban to January of 2023. Macy's store manager Ryan Torres supports at least an extension because Guam would be the only one in the national store chain facing such a ban.
It is very costly and takes a lot of time to understand the implications of sourcing, whether it be here locally or off island, in getting reusable bags just for only Macy's Guam.
Unique issues include how to maintain the bag branding of the iconic Macy's logo. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lacanto.
Effective immediately is a temporary ban of live poultry imported from the state of Colorado eastward due to a highly pathogenic avian influenza outbreak sweeping the United States. In a release from the Department of Agriculture, out of an abundance of caution, the temporary ban will remain until the spread of the virus has subsided. Additionally, as the outbreak develops, there may be a need to further extend the boundaries of the ban. We should note that this temporary ban applies to live poultry only, as there is no threat from poultry commodities such as meat and eggs. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the HPAI does not present an immediate human health concern. Coming up, Dave Delgado has all the championship action from IIAAG boys basketball, and still to come, your Coach Sun Creamery birthday shoutouts. Keep it here to your news leader.
Wanna live and feel life, chase my dreams in the sky, oh, in my pursuit of happiness. Oh, in my pursuit of happiness.
At Bank of Hawaii, nothing means more to us than helping you pursue your happiness. Bank of Hawaii, live your happy.
We all start somewhere. We start with the day. We start with him. We start with family. We start with a lesson. And the perfect wave. We start here and here. We start at your office and your home. We start with the connections that matter the most. The ones that move us, change us, inspire us. In an ever-expanding world, personal connections are what tie everything together, what ties us together. We all start somewhere. At GTA, we start with you.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
St. Paul and FD hitting the hardwood for the IIAAG boys basketball title. Warriors up 12-10 after the first. The Friars took the lead 22-14 with 4:48 left to go in the second. Michael Pangilinan picking up 2 of his 7 points on the night with the left-handed finish. St. Paul ended the quarter on a 9-4 run to regain the lead, heading into halftime ahead 24-23. EJ Cruz elevating for the baseline finish. Deep 3 attempt by Yoshi Sayama rolls off the rim. Nice heads-up play by EJ Acta to tip it to Noah Tenorio. Xander Sanchez decides to take matters in his own hands and drives hard to the basket for the tough lay-in. St. Paul up 8, looking to run the clock in the fourth and seal the deal. EJ Cruz with 10 big points in the second half. Down 43-40 with under a minute left in regulation. Friars moving the ball around, looking for a good shot. Ball ends up in the hands of Kane Santos, who hits from the white line. Santos buries the shot from way outside to send the game into overtime. Xander Sanchez took over and put his team on his back, going to the rack for 6 points in OT as the Warriors won 55-45.
First half, we were just jacking up a lot of threes. We weren't filling it. Halftime, my coach said, attack the basket more and just be relentless at the rim. And that's what we did.
It's a blessing playing with my friends and playing against my friends. I just want to give a big shout out to my family and my friends that came out to support us. I love you guys.
To win it with these guys, man, there's nobody that deserves it more than us. We made it out the mud, coming from down south, the struggle and everything. So to do it with this group of guys and the coaching staff and our whole school in general, they supported us from day one. They believed in us.
It meant a lot to us. We've been working hard ever since summer, and every day we're in and out of the gym, just grinding, and it feels good to finally get satisfied with this win.
In soccer news, congratulations to Guahan Charter Academy for winning the girls IIAAG middle school soccer title 3-1 over the St. John's Knights. The Stars took home the title in their soccer debut with a 6-1-1 record.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Unified Communications, UC, is the next step in a business phone system. Introducing Docomo Pacific UC, your business phone. Instant messaging, video, voicemail, fax, and more. All unified on one platform and delivered through the cloud. Merge your desk phone with your mobile device. Turn voice calls into video conference. UC reduces phone costs. UC boosts productivity. Work better together with Docomo Pacific UC.
Beautiful.
It is, right, baby?
Dad, isn't that where we usually stop for gas?
It's where we used to stop, but not anymore.
But isn't that the place with the milkshakes?
Okay, all right, let's go.
Get it out, kids.
Take your adventure further in the first ever Santa Fe Hybrid.
Welcome back to KUAM News Primetime. During these unprecedented times, the Guam Association of Realtors Community Service Committee will be hosting a food and supply drive tomorrow afternoon at Kashilas in Tamuning. The beneficiary is Victims Advocates Reaching Out, also known as Vero Guam. It is a nonprofit volunteer organization that provides services to victims and families on the island of domestic violence, sexual assault, and traumatic events. Remax Diamond Realty Guam Realtor Madeline Campos is the chair for GAR's Community Service Committee.
I've actually been in touch with Vero recently also, and just personally learning more about what they do for the community. And they had expressed their needs of what's going on with their nonprofit right now. So we thought that it would be a good opportunity to lend a helping hand during these times. They're in need of some diapers, also some toiletries, and then they do need some non-perishable items as well, non-perishable food, such as they mentioned cupo noodles, but canned goods and really anything that they can provide for their clients that do come in and out of their programs.
Vero Guam helps some 344 primary victims and survivors of domestic and family violence between January 2020 and June 2021. The drive is scheduled for 2 to 5 p.m. on Friday at Tamuning Kashilas. And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of the birthday shout-outs from the Coatstone Creamery Birthday Club.
March 3rd, happy birthday wishes going out to Taylor Julene Santos. Happy birthday to our baby girl. We love you so very much and are proud of everything you are and everything you are becoming. With all of our love, says your family. That's a great shout out. Good job, guys. Ethan Daniel Cabrera Guzman, happy birthday number 16, and may Almighty God continue to bless you. We love you, son, says a very proud family. And Caressa Hernandez, happiest of birthdays to Caressa. Here's another trip around the sun, and may your day be as bright as you are. The fam says happy birthday and sending you all their love. So Taylor, Ethan, and Caressa, you are today's birthday celebrants. We couldn't be prouder of you, and we all wish each of you a happy birthday.
Remember, you can be a part of the Coatstone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Now be